The Complete Story of ZIPPORAH, Moses' mysterious first wife. Today we embark on a journey to unveil the captivating and enigmatic tale of ZIPPORAH, the first wife of Moses. Although her name might not resonate as prominently as other biblical figures, ZIPPORAH's impact on Moses' life and God's divine plan was paramount. Her story is a tapestry woven with threads of bravery, cultural intricacies, and profound spiritual depth. Have you ever questioned why Moses, the esteemed leader of Israel, faced imminent peril from God? Or why his wife's intervention in a manner that has puzzled intellectuals for centuries became necessary? ZIPPORAH's existence is shrouded in intrigue, from her roots and marriage to Moses to the unparalleled challenges she encountered as the life partner of one of history's most consequential individuals. In this video, we will unpack her narrative, scrutinizing her cultural milieu, her instrumental role in Moses' calling, and the contentious episodes that have rendered her a figure of immense intrigue. We will immerse ourselves in the scriptures that illuminate her fortitude, valor, and the extraordinary place she occupied within God's unfolding design. ZIPPORAH's initial appearance in the book of Exodus coincides with a pivotal period in Moses' life. After fleeing Egypt to escape Pharaoh's fury, Moses finds himself in Midian. There, he encounters the 7 daughters of Jethro, also referred to as Reuel, who served as a priest of Midian. The Midianites, as described in Genesis 25:12, were a nomadic people descended from Abraham through his wife, Keturah, inhabiting the region that is now northwest Arabia. ZIPPORAH's introduction unfolds dramatically at a well, a location often associated with significant biblical encounters, much like those involving Rebekah and Rachel. In ancient times, wells were not merely sources of water, but also served as hubs for social interaction and community gatherings. In Exodus 2:16-21, we witness Moses leaping into action when a group of shepherds harass Jethro's daughters. Moses defends the women and assists them in watering their flock, revealing his inherent sense of righteousness and foreshadowing his destiny as Israel's liberator. This act of compassion lays the groundwork for Moses' relationship with ZIPPORAH. When the daughters return home earlier than anticipated, their father expresses surprise and inquires about the reason behind their hasty return. Upon hearing of Moses' courageous act, Jethro extends an invitation for him to stay with them. As time passes, Moses consents to reside with Jethro, and ZIPPORAH is offered to him in marriage. According to the prevailing customs, ZIPPORAH's name, which translates to bird in Hebrew, signifies more than a mere union. It embodies Moses' complete assimilation into Midianite society. By marrying ZIPPORAH, Moses gains not only a wife, but also social recognition and protection in this unfamiliar land. Exodus 3:1 depicts Moses tending to Jethro's flock, highlighting how seamlessly he has integrated into their family, a significant step in his journey before returning to Egypt to guide his people. ZIPPORAH's lineage holds considerable weight, rooted in the ancient history of the Midianites, who trace their ancestry back to Abraham through Keturah. Although related to the Israelites, they retained a distinct identity as detailed in Genesis 25:12. This ancestral backdrop adds another layer of depth to ZIPPORAH's role in Moses' life and divine mission. Should you find ZIPPORAH's narrative compelling and wish to delve deeper into her influence and enduring significance, remain with us as we continue our exploration. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with those eager to uncover more biblical treasures. Among the 6 sons born to Abraham through Keturah, Their descendants, which included Midian's lineage, established separate tribes, each possessing its unique cultural and religious practices. While the Midianites shared a common ancestor with the Israelites, they were regarded as outsiders within the biblical narrative, recognized for their nomadic way of life. Their frequent migrations across the arid landscapes of the Arabian Peninsula profoundly shaped their spiritual and cultural expressions. As the daughter of Jethro, a Midianite priest, Zipporah would have been steeped in the religious traditions of her people. Exodus 18:1 recounts, "Now Jethro, the priest of Midian and Moses' father-in-law, heard of everything God had done for Moses and for his people Israel, and how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt." Jethro's priestly role suggests that the Midianites adhered to structured religious practices, potentially involving sacrifices and rituals, albeit distinct from those observed by the Israelites. The Bible portrays Jethro as a man of wisdom and reverence for God, suggesting that the Midianites possessed a sense of awe for the divine, even if their understanding differed from that of Israel. Zipporah's Midianite heritage undoubtedly molded her worldview and spiritual convictions. While acknowledging the God of Abraham, the Midianites may have also incorporated other deities into their worship, a common practice in the ancient Near East. This distinguished Zipporah from the Israelites, who were bound by the covenant established with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and subsequently the laws revealed through Moses. Their union likely involved navigating the complexities of their divergent cultural and religious perspectives. Moses, having grown up in Egypt and called by God to lead the Israelites, possessed a unique comprehension of the covenant. In contrast, Zipporah brought her Midianite cultural heritage into their marriage, adding both richness and challenges to their relationship. Exodus 18:12 states, "Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and other sacrifices to God, and Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat a meal with Moses' father-in-law in the presence of God." This scene depicts a remarkable instance of cultural and spiritual exchange. Jethro, a Midianite priest, presents offerings to God, and Aaron, alongside the elders of Israel, joins him for a communal meal. This event highlights the mutual respect and unity between the two cultures, despite their disparities, and underscores the influence of Zipporah's family on both Moses and the Israelites as they partake in shared religious rituals. However, the differing religious practices of the Midianites and Israelites could have ignited conflicts. The Israelites, adhering to strict monotheism, worshipped Yahweh exclusively, whereas the Midianites may have embraced a more diverse approach, integrating multiple deities. This contrast necessitated a delicate balance in Moses and Zipporah's relationship, particularly as God was molding Moses for his leadership role. Numbers 25:1-3 illustrates the broader issue of Israelite men succumbing to idolatry through their interactions with foreign women, engaging in immorality, and participating in sacrifices to foreign gods. While this particular passage centers on the Moabites, it illuminates the potential pitfalls associated with relationships between Israelites and foreign women, as such unions could spark cultural and religious clashes. Notably, Zipporah did not lead Moses astray. Nevertheless, the potential for tension in such marriages was ever present. Yet Zipporah's story stands out because she maintained her position in Moses' life without obstructing his mission or undermining his covenant with God. One of the most perplexing and widely debated events involving Zipporah unfolds in Exodus 4, where she plays a crucial role in a situation that has ignited much scholarly discussion. This brief yet impactful account has perplexed both scholars and theologians for generations, due to its cryptic nature and profound theological ramifications. Exodus 4:24-26 recounts, "At a resting place on the journey, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. 'Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me,' she said. So the Lord let him alone. At that time she said bridegroom of blood, referring to circumcision." This passage presents a perplexing scenario. God, who had just commissioned Moses to liberate the Israelites from Egyptian bondage, suddenly moves to end his life. The cause of God's wrath remains unclear, yet a prevailing belief is that Moses had failed to circumcise his son, an act that held significant weight as a symbol of the covenant between God and his people, as outlined in Genesis 17:10-14. Genesis 17:10. 11 states, "This is my covenant with you and your descendants after you, the covenant you are to keep. Every male among you shall be circumcised." This command for circumcision represented a fundamental element of the covenant, serving as a visible mark of their unique identity as God's chosen people. The act, passed down from Abraham, was a non-negotiable requirement for every male. By neglecting to circumcise his son, Moses disregarded a cornerstone of his faith and the very covenant that bound his people to God. This lapse was particularly egregious, considering Moses' role as their designated deliverer. However, in this moment of divine fury, Zipporah swiftly and decisively takes charge. She seizes a flint knife, a tool frequently associated with purification rituals in ancient cultures, and performs the circumcision herself. This act demonstrates Zipporah's deep understanding of the situation's gravity and the paramount importance of the covenant, perhaps exceeding even Moses' comprehension at that moment. Her words, "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me," have generated much debate among scholars. Open to interpretation, the phrase could convey a range of emotions: anger, relief, or a profound recognition of the weighty implications of the covenant, symbolized by the shedding of blood. Some scholars interpret Zipporah's statement as a reflection of the covenant's demanding nature, binding both her husband and son to God's chosen people. This concept is echoed in Joshua 5:2-3, where God instructs Joshua to use flint knives to circumcise the Israelites once more, underscoring the continued importance of this ritual in maintaining their covenantal purity. Zipporah's use of a flint knife connects her actions to the broader biblical theme of circumcision as a symbol of dedication and submission to God. This incident also provides insight into the dynamics of Moses and Zipporah's marriage. As a Midianite, Zipporah did not inherit the Israelite covenant. However, her actions betray a deep-seated understanding of its stipulations. Her intervention highlights the inherent tension between their dissimilar cultural backgrounds, while simultaneously emphasizing the pivotal role of the covenant within their relationship. It also suggests that Zipporah might have possessed a heightened spiritual awareness, recognizing the gravity of the neglected covenant at a time when Moses, preoccupied with his mission, might have overlooked it. Deuteronomy 10:16 calls for the circumcision of the heart, pointing to a metaphorical understanding of the physical act as symbolic of a deeper spiritual commitment to God. Zipporah's immediate and resolute action in physically circumcising her son can be interpreted as a reflection of her innate grasp of what it genuinely meant to be bound to God's covenant. Her understanding transcends mere ritual, embodying a profound spiritual devotion. This episode marks a pivotal moment in the shared narrative of Moses and Zipporah. Not only does it spare Moses' life, but it also serves to reinforce the paramount importance of the covenant between God and His chosen people. Zipporah emerges as a beacon of strength and spiritual acuity, adeptly navigating the intricate cultural and religious complexities inherent in her marriage to Moses. Although brief, this episode offers fertile ground for contemplating themes of covenant, obedience, and the indispensable role women play within the grand narrative of God's people. As the story progresses and Moses prepares to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, the Bible briefly mentions Zipporah and her children returning to Midian. This occurs in Exodus 18, when Jethro, her father, brings them back to Moses. Exodus 18, 2-3 states, "After Moses had sent away his wife Zipporah, his father-in-law Jethro received her and her 2 sons. One son was named Gershom, for Moses said, 'I have become a foreigner in a foreign land,' and the other was named Eliezer, for he said, 'My father's God was my helper. He saved me from the sword of Pharaoh.'" This passage implies that at some point before the Exodus, Moses sent Zipporah and their children back to Midian. The reasons for this separation are not explicitly stated, but several possibilities emerge. When Moses finally returns to Egypt to confront Pharaoh and free the Israelites, the Bible briefly mentions a separation between Moses and Zipporah. Exodus 18, 2-3 recounts, "After Moses had sent away his wife Zipporah, his father-in-law Jethro received her and her 2 sons. Moses' decision to send Zipporah and their sons back to Midian is neither fully explained nor detailed. However, this decision has sparked significant interpretation and analysis, leading to several plausible reasons for the separation. Safety is often cited as a primary reason for Moses sending his family back. His task to challenge Pharaoh was daunting and fraught with danger, a mission that would disrupt the established power of one of the ancient world's most formidable rulers. With his life's focus on freeing the Israelites, Moses likely recognized the peril this mission entailed, not only for himself, but for anyone closely associated with him. Egypt had become a hostile environment, as noted in Exodus 4:19, where God assures Moses, saying, "Go back to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you are dead." However, this reassurance did not eliminate the general dangers in Egypt for Moses and those close to him. By sending Zipporah and their children to Midian, Moses likely felt he was providing them a haven away from Egypt's volatility, enabling him to carry out his mission without fearing for their immediate safety. Zipporah was not an Israelite. She was a Midianite, a fact that set her apart culturally and could have posed challenges during the Israelites' exodus. This cultural divide may have been complicated by Moses' leadership position and the interactions of their family with other Israelites. Although the Bible doesn't explicitly mention conflicts between Zipporah and the Israelites, there is a notable instance in Numbers 12, one where Miriam and Aaron criticize Moses for marrying a Cushite woman. While this may not directly reference Zipporah, it indicates a possible prejudice or discomfort among the Israelites concerning outsiders. In sending Zipporah and their children back to Midian, Moses may have been sparing her and their sons from potential misunderstandings, conflicts, or prejudice within the Israelite community. Midian, as her homeland, offered familiarity and comfort, allowing her to avoid the cultural clashes and to be in the presence of her family, specifically her father, Jethro. The move back to Midian also suggests Moses' understanding of the potential difficulties that Zipporah, as a foreigner, might face amidst the Israelites, demonstrating his thoughtfulness for her well-being and peace of mind. Moses' role as the leader of a massive, oppressed population was fraught with emotional and physical demands. As the chosen messenger of God, he had to channel his energy and focus almost exclusively on his mission, which could have led to his family feeling neglected. The weight of the deliverance mission likely required him to sacrifice time with his family to fulfill his responsibilities to the Israelites. This mission, being divinely appointed, would require his complete dedication, possibly adding strain to his family relationships. Sending Zipporah and their children to Midian could have been a practical decision, allowing him to carry out his duties without the added worry of attending to his family's needs amidst such a turbulent period. While challenging, this separation may have provided him the necessary focus and space to fulfill his obligations to God and the people of Israel, trusting that his family was safe and cared for by Jethro. The account of Zipporah and her son's return is documented in Exodus 18, when Jethro brings them back to Moses after the Israelites successfully leave Egypt. This reunion is not merely logistical. It symbolizes a moment of personal reconnection for Moses, a renewal of family bonds that had been set aside during his time of crisis. In Exodus 18:5-7, it is described, Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, together with Moses' sons and wife, came to him in the wilderness, where he was camped near the mountain of God. The meeting is filled with warmth and respect, showcasing Jethro's understanding and approval of Moses' mission. Moses' family, once dispersed, now stands united, underscoring the importance of kinship even amidst divine callings. For Moses, who had spent a significant portion of his life in Midian before returning to Egypt, this reunion likely held additional emotional weight. Having Zipporah and his children back by his side following the Israelites' successful escape signified a reconnection not only with his family, but also with his past life in Midian, bridging his dual roles as a family man and a leader of God's people. This reunion marks a spiritual milestone in Moses' journey, as his family's return coincides with a period of relative calm after the Israelites' escape from Egypt. Zipporah and her children serve as reminders of Moses' personal roots, reinforcing that family remains a central value within the larger story of God's covenant with Israel. Their reunion underscores that while Moses' mission was divinely ordained, it did not eclipse the human element, the connections, sacrifices, and reunions that weave through the story of Israel's deliverance. In the story's broader context, Moses' family also represents continuity within the Israelite lineage. His children, Gershom and Eliezer, carry names with profound significance. Gershom, meaning I have become a foreigner in a foreign land, and Eliezer, meaning my father's God was my helper. He saved me from the sword of Pharaoh. These names reflect Moses' journey and God's providence in his life. Gershom's name speaks to Moses' exile and his identity as an outsider, while Eliezer's name celebrates divine deliverance, capturing Moses' experiences and God's faithfulness. Although Zipporah and her children appear briefly, their presence adds depth to Moses' story, highlighting the personal sacrifices and family ties woven into the broader narrative of Exodus. Zipporah's role and her separation from Moses remind readers that the journey of faith, even for God's chosen leaders, can demand personal sacrifices. Their reunion with Moses, set against the backdrop of Israel's newfound freedom, serves as a touching reminder that within God's covenant, family bonds and personal history remain cherished, anchoring even the grandest of missions in the human experience. Now, let's turn our attention to a noteworthy event involving Miriam and Aaron, Moses' siblings, as documented in the Book of Numbers. This incident sheds light on the internal conflicts within Moses' family and exposes deeper cultural and racial dynamics at play. Numbers 12:1 states, Miriam and Aaron began to talk against Moses because of his Cushite wife, for he had married a Cushite. This seemingly simple verse carries significant implications. The term Cushite typically refers to someone hailing from the region of Cush, corresponding to modern-day Sudan or Ethiopia, and suggesting African lineage. Scholarly debate exists as to whether this Cushite wife is Zipporah or another woman Moses might have married. If it does indeed refer to Zipporah, her foreign origins and physical appearance could have been a source of contention, even within Moses' own family. The mention of a Cushite wife brings to light potential cultural and racial prejudices that may have surrounded her acceptance among the Israelites. As a Midianite, Zipporah was already perceived as an outsider. Her being identified as a Cushite could have further amplified her otherness in the eyes of Miriam and Aaron. Deuteronomy 7:3. 4 cautions against intermarriage with foreign nations, stating, "Do not intermarry with them. Do not give your daughters to their sons, or take their daughters for your sons, for they will turn your children away from following me to serve other gods." Miriam's subsequent affliction with leprosy can be interpreted as symbolic punishment, potentially representing the consequences of her attempt to marginalize and exclude someone based on cultural or racial differences. The irony of Miriam, who criticized a woman likely of darker complexion, being struck with a condition that turned her skin as white as snow, speaks volumes. It appears as a divine rebuke for her actions. However, Miriam's leprosy, followed by Aaron's heartfelt plea for her healing, paves the way for repentance and reconciliation. In a display of humility and compassion, Moses intercedes on behalf of his sister, as recounted in Numbers 12:13-15. Moses cried out, "Please, God, heal her." But the Lord responded to Moses, "If her father had spit in her face, would she not be in disgrace for 7 days? Confine her outside the camp for 7 days, and after that she may be brought back." So Miriam was confined outside the camp for 7 days, and the people did not move on till she was brought back. This period of temporary exile serves as both a consequence for Miriam's actions and an opportunity for introspection. The severity of her transgression, fueled by jealousy, prejudice, and defiance against God's chosen leader, is undeniable. After 7 days, Miriam is welcomed back into the community, but the experience serves as a stark reminder of the detrimental impact of cultural and racial bias within a community that strives to live according to God's principles. This episode involving Miriam and Aaron further illuminates the intricacies surrounding Moses' marriage. Whether or not the mention of the Cushite wife refers specifically to Zipporah, the conflict exposes the cultural and racial sensitivities that potentially influenced her acceptance among the Israelites. It also highlights the intricate family dynamics Moses navigated, balancing his leadership role with personal struggles connected to race, culture, and jealousy. Ultimately, this story serves as a timeless reminder of the paramount importance of humility, unity, and acceptance within any faith community. To conclude, Zipporah's story, despite its brevity within the Bible, carries profound significance. As the first wife of Moses, she played a pivotal role in his life, from their initial encounter in Midian to the critical moment when her quick thinking saved him. Her journey reflects the complexities of bridging cultural and spiritual divides, and the inner strength required to overcome such obstacles. Though the Bible offers limited details about her life, the glimpses we do receive paint a portrait of a courageous, resourceful woman who stood steadfastly beside one of the Bible's most esteemed leaders. The story of Moses is one deeply etched in our collective consciousness. We remember the parting of the Red Sea, the 10 Commandments, and the Exodus from Egypt. Yet within this grand narrative, often hidden in plain sight, resides the story of Zipporah, Moses' Midianite wife. While her appearances in the Bible are brief, a careful examination of her story reveals a wealth of powerful lessons about faith, courage, cultural understanding, and the quiet strength of women in the face of extraordinary circumstances. One of the most striking lessons we learn from Zipporah is the significance of unwavering faith, even amidst different cultural and religious expressions. Born and raised a Midianite, Zipporah's spiritual landscape differed significantly from the strict monotheism of the Israelites. Despite this, she displays a deep understanding and respect for the God of Abraham. This becomes evident during the chilling episode where God threatens Moses' life. Zipporah's swift action in circumcising her son, coupled with her declaration, "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me," illustrates her intuitive grasp of the covenant's seriousness and her willingness to act according to its demands, even when her husband seemed to falter. This powerful scene transcends a mere cultural practice. It highlights the depth of her faith and her commitment to safeguarding her family's spiritual well-being, even if it meant challenging traditional roles. Zipporah's story also speaks volumes about the understated power of women in the biblical narrative. While often relegated to the background, Zipporah emerges as a figure of immense inner strength and quiet authority. She doesn't shy away from taking decisive action, be it defending her sisters at the well, saving her husband's life, or navigating the complexities of a cross-cultural marriage in a patriarchal society. Her agency is subtle but undeniable, proving that influence and strength can manifest in unconventional ways. Zipporah's actions remind us that impactful leadership isn't limited to pronouncements from mountaintops, but can also take the form of quiet wisdom and decisive actions that shape destinies within the home. Furthermore, Zipporah's journey underscores the importance of cultural understanding and sensitivity in navigating relationships and promoting unity. Her marriage to Moses, a union transcending cultural and religious boundaries, serves as a powerful symbol of inclusivity and the potential for harmony even in the face of differences. The biblical account acknowledges the inherent challenges present in such unions. Miriam and Aaron's criticism of Moses' Cushite wife throws light on the prejudices prevalent then, much like the subtle forms of discrimination that still persist today. Nevertheless, Zipporah's unwavering presence in Moses' life and her ultimate acceptance by the Israelites serve as a testament to the possibility of overcoming prejudice through understanding and shared experiences. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, Zipporah's story compels us to look beyond the familiar narratives and recognize the often unsung heroes and heroines of faith. The Bible, while replete with epic tales of miracles and grand pronouncements, also finds space for stories like Zipporah's, stories of everyday courage, quiet devotion, and the enduring strength of women who navigate complex realities with unwavering faith. Her story encourages us to delve deeper, to look beyond the surface and acknowledge the countless individuals, often overlooked, who played instrumental roles in shaping the course of biblical history. As we reflect on Zipporah's legacy, we are reminded that her story is not merely a historical footnote, but rather a vibrant tapestry woven with enduring lessons. In her quiet strength, we discover a blueprint for navigating cultural differences, embracing our faith courageously, and recognizing the inherent power that resides within each of us, waiting to be unleashed when the moment demands it. Zipporah's story invites us to broaden our understanding of what constitutes heroism within the biblical narrative, and inspires us to embrace the transformative power of faith, courage, and unwavering love in our own lives. Now let's pray together. O God, divine architect of destinies, we come before you humbled by the story of Zipporah, wife of Moses. Though history may often overlook her, we recognize the quiet strength and enduring spirit of this woman who walked alongside a man chosen for greatness. We are captivated by her story, a testament to the extraordinary ways your grace weaves through the tapestry of human lives. A Midianite woman, bound by tradition and culture far removed from the Hebrew God, she encountered you in the wilderness, at a well much like your people did generations before. You presented her with a man, Moses, not just a husband, but a destiny intertwined with the liberation of an entire nation. Grant us, Lord, a fraction of Zipporah's courage. She, a daughter of the desert, accepted Moses, a stranger, an exile, into her family and her heart. Teach us to extend such hospitality, such open arms to those different from ourselves, to see in them not strangers, but reflections of your diverse and magnificent creation. We are humbled by Zipporah's quiet strength, her resilience in the face of hardship. She journeyed with Moses, not through fertile lands, but through desolate wilderness, mirroring the very exodus her people would later undertake. Grant us her fortitude, Lord, to navigate our own personal deserts, our times of doubt and uncertainty, knowing that you, like a pillar of fire, guide us even in the darkest of nights. We grapple with the mystery surrounding her actions at the inn. Scripture speaks in whispers, leaving us to interpret her motives, her understanding of your divine will. Whether acting on ancient tradition or guided by a mother's fierce love, her defiance, Lord, was an act of defiance born from faith, a testament to the depth of her belief, a belief that extended beyond cultural norms to embrace a higher purpose. Grant us the wisdom to understand, Lord, that your ways are not our ways, that your plans often unfold in moments of apparent chaos. Help us find courage to act when we feel your call, even when it challenges societal norms, even when it requires questioning those we love. Above all, we are moved by the love that bound Zipporah and Moses. Theirs was a union tested by circumstance, stretched by the weight of responsibility, yet enduring through trials that would have shattered lesser bonds. Their love story speaks to your enduring grace, Lord, your presence in the mundane and the miraculous alike. Teach us to cherish the sacred bond of marriage, to nurture it with understanding, patience, and unwavering commitment, just as Zipporah and Moses did. Let their love serve as a beacon, reminding us that even amidst hardship, your love remains a constant, a source of strength and solace. We remember Zipporah, Lord, not just as a footnote in the epic tale of Moses, but as a woman of substance, strength, and unwavering faith. May her story inspire us to embrace our own callings, to find strength in adversity, and to trust in your divine plan, even when it leads us down unfamiliar paths. For it is in those unexpected journeys, in the whispers of the wind and the stillness of the desert night, that we often hear your voice most clearly. Amen. Thank you for joining us as we journeyed through the remarkable life of Zipporah. If you found this exploration enriching, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others who might also find it meaningful. Continue to join us for more insights into the fascinating narratives contained within the Bible. May God bless you